Hello everyone, and this is What If Deku Had the 10 Commandments, Part 3. Yes, it's back. So, let's continue. Now, whenever we last left off, we are at about the 1 year mark before the anime started. And long story short, at that period, Deku awakened 2 more commandments, which are Repose and Selflessness. As for how he awakened these 2 commandments, well, before that, we will need to understand what the Commandment of Repose does, since it was never actually mentioned in the anime or the manga. So, I'll just have to make it up just for this what if. And the effect for the Commandment of Repose I made up is basically like a stacking power, and it revolves around your sleep. The less sleep you have, the stronger you get. As for the scaling of this power, for every hour that you're not sleeping, you will get 1% stronger. Meaning, for example, if you didn't sleep for like maybe 2 days, then you get 48% stronger. 3 days, 72%. 4 days, 96%, and so on and so forth. Oh, and if you're wondering, there is no limit. As for the Commandment of Selflessness, it is stated in the anime and the manga, so I'll just read it out. Anyone who holds desires from another person will lose their memories, emotions, and sense of self. Now, with the effects of the commandments out of the way, let's get to how Deku awakened these 2 commandments, with the first one being Repose, since it's easier I think. So, just like how Deku found his other commandments, a new demon mark and/or a new commandment mark would appear in Deku's chest, him being confused as to what this is since it's new. And after like maybe a week or so of figuring out what the Commandment of Repose does, Deku found out. However, that was the point where Deku would start to wonder why he's awakening quirks about every single year, along with questions like, what are these marks? Why am I continuing to awaken these powers? Along with, how many am I going to awaken? But, of course, he would not find any answers to his questions. Deku, not satisfied with this situation, he would start to basically try and find something else to do. Something like maybe playing games, or even experimenting with his commandments. And by that, I mean using multiple commandments simultaneously, which upon attempting it 50 times each day, Deku, after 2 months of trying to do that, would finally succeed in using 2 commandments at the same time. However, even though he can use 2 commandments at the same time, he found out that there is sort of a side effect, which is the more commandments Deku uses simultaneously, along with the longer he uses them, he gets crazier and crazier. Even if Deku was using the Commandment of Purity, which heals him of everything, he still is as crazy, if not a bit more. I mean, if Deku uses 2 commandments at the same time for like 1 minute, then it's fine. But if he uses more than 1 minute, then he starts to get crazy. And by crazy, I mean having to laugh uncontrollably, being bloodthirsty, and also wanting to destroy everything around him. If you're wondering how Deku found out, it's because it happened, and it took an immense amount of sheer willpower just to stop using 2 commandments at once, and/or deactivate one of those two commandments. Yeah, the aftermatch was not fun. But the good thing is, Deku did not kill anyone, at least not yet. If he didn't deactivate one of the commandments, then yes, he will. Now, about 1 month before the start of the anime, Deku would awaken the Commandment of Selflessness. However, the time when he awakened it, I don't know if you should say it is a perfect timing or a bad timing, because when it awakened, Deku was watching some heroes fighting some villains. Deku, who is caught in the moment watching heroes fighting villains live right in front of him and not using any commandments at the time, he would not notice that he had a new commandment activated. He would only notice it after the villain suddenly lost consciousness and fall onto the ground. Everyone, including the heroes, being confused as to what happened. Deku would notice that something is wrong, since the hero did not land a blow Deku knocked the villain out, him looking down to see if he had any commandments on, which he surprisingly did, which was the new Commandment of Selflessness. With Deku finding out that he has a new commandment, he would like to figure out what it does immediately, so that he don't accidentally use it. However, before Deku can do anything else to try and find out what it does, the villain would have got back up. With the heroes getting ready to fight the villain would just be confused as to where he is, who he is, and what they are doing surrounding him. With the hero telling the villain to surrender, the villain would just be confused as to what surrender means, which is even more confusing to everyone. However, Deku, knowing that this is one of the effects of the commandment, he would note it down in his notebook. With Deku, after noting down the effects, he would turn off every single commandment that he had and then go back home. Now, we'll time skip to 1 month later and the start of the anime, where Deku is going to school just as usual. By the way, Deku already found out how the Commandment of Selflessness works, as whenever the school ended, Deku, just like the anime, would have took a shortcut to his home, and on the way to his home, he would encounter the sludge villain just as usual. However, unlike the anime, Deku has not slept for 1 entire month. And if you're wondering how Deku survived for 1 entire month without sleeping, it's all thanks to the Commandment of Purity. But if in any single case where Deku deactivates the Commandment of Purity, he would immediately feel the the effects of not sleeping for that entire time, meaning fatigue over 9,000. But the good thing is, since Deku did not sleep for that entire time, he, right now, if he activates the Commandment of Repose, is 7.2 times stronger, and are 720% stronger. Now, back over with Deku. Deku, knowing that the sludge villain is trying to get him and take his body, he would try to get away while switching to Repose, forgetting that he would get fatigue and or feel the effects of not sleeping for that entire month. Which is why when he did switch, he would immediately fall onto the ground, being heavily fatigued. Him thinking, no, don't sleep. No, come on, get up. Come on, get up. Don't sleep. Come on, I know you're tired.
need to get out of here. If not, he's going to take your body. Come on, move. Damn it, too tired. Need purity now.
And right when that thought finished, the sludge villain, who was just a bit confused as to why Deku fell down, he would grab onto Deku's leg and basically try to go into Deku's body. However, just as the sludge villain grabbed onto Deku's leg, Deku would activate Purity and Repose simultaneously. Him immediately back at top physical condition and also having the multiplier for, not sleeping. With Deku knowing that his time limit is only 1 minute, he would try to end this fight as fast as he can. Him jamming his finger into the ground, which pierced through the ground, and using it to propel himself, he would get away from the sludge villain. But Deku actually used more strength than he intended to, so even though he did escape from the grabs of the sludge villain, he also sent himself flying into a car and crashing into it. Deku not wanting to turn crazy just yet, he would have deactivated Repose, thinking, "Whoa, now that was dangerous. I'm sorry to whoever this car belongs to. Now that I think about it, I don't think I can defeat that sludge thing with my physical strength alone, even with Repose. I need a plan." Deku seeing the sludge villain lunging towards him, he would have activated Repose again and jump away. With Deku deactivating Repose when he lands, he would start to laugh at the sludge villain, trying to get his attention and get him more angry, which he did. Deku seeing that has an effect, he would start to run away while continuing to taunt at the sludge villain. With the sludge villain being blinded by rage, it would continue to lunge towards Deku, while Deku is basically running away and baiting the sludge villain towards the police station. However, not long Deku started his journey to bait the sludge villain towards the police station, All Might, who is in the air, would have noticed Deku's actions. Him having to land right behind Deku and, well, save Deku. Him throwing a Detroit Smash and knocking out the sludge villain. Deku, who heard All Might landing behind him and seeing All Might throwing a Detroit Smash, he would of course been amazed to see All Might's strength firsthand. And while All Might is basically stuffing the sludge villain into a bottle, Deku would have been reflecting on what and or how he can do better, with the conclusion being two things. Number 1, continuing to stack Repose until his physical strength can match All Might. Number 2, get a weapon that he can use in any given situation, no matter if that weapon is offensive or defensive. Now, here's one question for all of you guys. Who should I give One for All to? I've literally asked this question for every single what if. Well, I believe every one of them except for solo leveling. But that's not the point. So, just like in the other what ifs that I asked this question, the one who is receiving One for All is everyone except for Deku. Okay? I repeat, except for Deku. And with that out of the way, this will be the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. That'll be amazing, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a nice day.